Hello, love. Welcome home to Eden. This is Eve Christoph, your Love Life Muse, here to help you with the hottest news to love your life and find love and enjoy love. So subscribe to this channel and we'll get somewhere new. This is the episode on when a tantric love god loses his love goddess and he is broken apart by it. How does this even happen, right? If he's a tantric love god, how does he manage to lose her? Well, I have about probably, I tend to attract these love gods into my life, not necessarily as my lovers, but just as people who share with me their tantric adventures into the kind of lovemaking that goes all night long, all week long, and that just keeps rolling with the tantric energy and goes day into night. And most of these men, I think it's basically all of them who shared with me, have figured out the basic gift of not orgasming. Many orgasms, but not coming. Ejaculating. Okay. So what that means is they can maintain an erection for many, many hours. And, the regular lover goes, "What? That sounds horrible. You never even get to have your climax." But what the tantric love gods find out is that not only do they climax, but they climax many, many times, but in a different kind of a way where the energy starts to move up their spine, and it's all about, and there's a lot of heart connection, a lot of kissing, right? So women love this kind of lover, right? If they're really soul connected, they want to keep going and going. But if they're not soul connected all the way, suddenly everything can change and drop off and disappear. And the men I know who've experienced this kind of lovemaking with a woman, it's like they're with a goddess. It's like they've entered heaven, and they never want to leave. And so they are completely unprepared. They're totally shocked when they lose her suddenly. And their hearts are just broken because they're like, I was giving my all. I was giving everything I had to her. And there was no clue. We were communicating. There wasn't a clue that I wasn't doing enough. And I want to say to you, there was a clue. There were clues, and you missed the clues, okay? But let's talk about those clues a little bit. So that so that you have more control when you get the gift of that kind of a tantrika lover again, that you will actually be able to change and grow with her and keep her. So this is the deal. All right. So for men in general, the deal is sexuality. A really, really so awesome sexuality feeds everything else. That will make him better at his job, better at his athletic endeavors, better father, better thinker. Everything in his life will be better, everything else, because of this intense sexuality. He's able to penetrate his woman, means he can penetrate the world, as David Dita says in his book. But for the women, for the tantrika, okay, it's the opposite. Everything else feeds her sexuality, okay? So just because she's having a lot of physical pleasure with you does not mean that she's being fed to be able to keep her sexuality going. Her sexuality has to be fed, just like your life needs to be fed by having sex. Her sexuality needs to be fed by you joining with her in her other love languages. So say it's creative. You got to be doing poetry with her, or dancing with her, or say her love language is communication and words of affirmation. You got to have those amazing conversations. If her love language is quality time, you need to be spending time that's not just sex, okay? It's going to burn out. No matter how great it is, it's going to burn out. So when she said to you, "Oh, I really miss you when I don't see you," or I'm going through this surgery and I don't want you to go away while I'm even in the preparatory months for the surgery. I'm just thinking of the different scenarios of some of the different men who've had this happen to them. You minimized it. You thought, well, but our lovemaking is so great. It's already, who needs more? The guy doesn't need more. He doesn't need to live with her or see her. He feels everything's fine. But the thing is, she's got to have these other levels of her. So she might be lonely. She might be needing somebody to cook with and talk with and hang with. She might be in a creative project and she could really use your input, you know. So the thing to really, you know, stay connected in is that when the women speak up, the Tantric goddess seems so plentiful. She seems like so bountiful. She doesn't really need that much. She doesn't want to mess with how close you are and how beautiful it is. So she's trying to be polite. But the truth is, when she asks you for what she wants, it's an understatement. Like, I'm understating that it's an understatement. It is such an understatement. She's trying to maintain her feminine goddess flow with you without being too pushy. And she's trying to accept your boundaries. But she's asking you in a nice way over and over again. And you're thinking, she's not pushy enough. It must not matter. Or she's not crying. It must not matter. No, she wants to maintain her dignity and she wants you to respond to her. Okay, so everything else that you do with her is what feeds her sexuality. So what this means is it demands more of you. So you're thinking, I'm already giving my all. I can't even give her any more pleasure than I'm giving her. I'm totally giving my everything. Well, yeah, but what about the other parts of you? Your mind, your heart, you're going to have to muster even more of yourself to stay with her. You can't just rest on your physical attributes and your sensual, sensitive, intense lovemaking, rare ability. No matter how rare it is, more is demanded of you now, and that demand is you know, what are you going to say with her if you're not making love? What adventure are you going to take her on? What is this thing she's wanting? What she wants you to do errands with her? You know, what she wants might seem really mundane and really boring and so easy to you that why would it matter? You know, all she wants to do is me to hang out when she's doing her chores on Sunday. Like, that can't matter that much. But that's the thing that matters most to her, right? That's when life is getting bleak and she needs to feel that there's friendship, maybe. So here you go. There's your challenge, okay? Get it through your head. The sexuality doesn't feed women, at least anybody with a woman's feminine essence, in the same way it does you. Now, if you join with her on those other levels of her chakras, and then you're making love, and she's getting those things she's asking for from you, now her sexuality, she feels it's all connected in her entire being. Now her sexuality starts to feel an overflow for all of her life. Now she's on fire. She's a fountain overflowing, you know, and wow, you're both feeding each other's fire, and there's a circuit, the figure eight going on, you know, between the two of you, that's different needs feeding each other's needs, and the sexuality right in there holding everything in this magnificent magic. All right. Oh, I feel like I'm forgetting something. What is it? Be brave. Be that brave to go to the new territory, and be that humble to listen, okay? Just listen to the woman's request. And if it seems really like it's going to ruin your sexuality, like, okay, here it is. A lot of women, they're like, I want to live together now. I want to see you all the time. And true enough, this can ruin your passion. Because there's no space. There's no space to just, like, what? You know, like have some mystery. I mean, how can she even get dolled up for you if you're watching her do her hair? I mean, there's a lot that women don't realize they lose when they live with a guy and they're fighting on this power struggle happens over housework. No, it's just not as fun. But you can find ways to meet that desire for more connectivity, more family, uh, more more maybe time spending the night at each other's houses so you can wake up and make breakfast together, that feeling of companionship that she might be missing. You can find ways to compromise so that you don't lose your guy cave, you don't lose your ability to be there for her, because you might be like, oh my god, if I live with her, I can't keep up with this lover god thing. I'm gonna have my down days, and I'm gonna be my little boy sometimes, and I'm gonna be in the brother thing sometimes. It's not sexy, it's just the brother. And that's true, because that's you. We're human, we have many sides. And so if she wants more time with you, see if you can do it consciously in a way that's going to meet the needs that she's longing for in that time. Okay? And I mean, sometimes people want to live together because it's so hard, the struggle of survival, and they just want it to be graceful, or they're working so hard. When would they see each other if they didn't live together? You'll figure it out. But whatever you do, listen to her and believe her in her small little voice. It's like that still, calm voice they talk about when you listen to your own heart. When you listen to that still, calm voice in her, small, quiet, it's really profound what she's asking for, and it's very important. So take it to heart. That's all. Okay. Much love, darling. Love, light. Okay.